No,
That's all you
she's
need,
at,
right?
she's with Eaton Corporation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I don't know what her title is. So.
Yes,
How do you think campaign's going?
Good. I think it's going really good.
Good.
It's picking up pace a little bit. Right now it's kind of the crazy time.
Yeah, right.
Forever, because we start back in the summertime, and back then I'm like, what should I be doing? Like, I feel like I'm not doing anything, and I'm not asking that question anymore. I'm like, where am I supposed to be going? What do I need to be at? And now it's just like the crazy time, which is good. We have Lincoln Day dinner tomorrow, so that's tomorrow night, and then we have our debate next Thursday, so.
When you say the county clerk's office, I always think of WB. Pete Franz.
Yeah.
Something that, oh
Yeah.
my, we used to,
Oh, God.
I
all
worked for
changed now.
Sally.
We used to go up there and have coffee, but
Yes.
they don't do that now.
Yeah. I worked for Sally
I'm sorry?
Turner.
Oh, Sal, oh, well, she's one of the best. You can't
Okay,
say
you got about a minute.
about her in my
You
presence.
can't. No, love her.
Okay, we got about 1 minute. Thank you, sir.
Clearance sale where you buy one item and save 50%. Receive the second item for only 29 cents on Saturday, February 29th. Visit Mary Todd's Hallmark Cake.
I'll have to lean forward.
7 days a week, including
Yeah, I think, and then I'll trip.
Why don't you scoot it, Sharon? Just get scooted.
772.
I had to make mine go lower.
Everyone showered this week, so you can get all.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
It's always a big deal for me to shower and not fall.
5 million high-quality commercial and residential power distribution products each year, featuring load setters, metering devices. Eaton is a proud Lincoln Community High School sponsor.
Okay, stand by.
Realtor.
Get ready.
Go.
Good morning. Welcome to Viewpoint, your program with personalities, politicians, and perspectives. First, I have a little, Mrs. Busby, you know, well, I start with a kudo or two.
Yes.
Well, we just as well do that right now, and then we get some other house cleaning orders here that I have to do. Kudos to Zach Logan, Nick Jackson, and Adam Hoffman, students at Lincoln College. Once again, Lincoln College rises to the front. These gentlemen have been selected to go to New York City to represent the college for excellence in broadcasting.
Oh, really?
This is a new program that we've started out at Lincoln College a couple, 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little more than that. And it's moving under John Malone, it's moving by leaps and bounds, and we're sending 3 kids to New York for an award, so God love them.
Well, good for them. Congratulations.
Now, a little housekeeping duties.
Yes, sir.
I promised Marcia Fernandez to be sure and get this on the air this morning, so both of you out there listening, pay strict attention. We're going to talk about Hoops for Heroes, and that is this Saturday. We're going to have the 7th and 8th grade Wolverines, that's the West Lincoln Broadwell, who are state champions, by the way. They're going to play our first responders, I would presume, the ER folks and so forth.
Oh, my.
And so they're going to play them, a game out there. That'll be some game. But they're going to have the West Lincoln Palm Squad. We're going to have a signed state basketball championship basketball. We're going to have 50-50 drawings. That's a big deal, folks. A half-court shot. I'm going to enter that contest for making a half-court shot. Yeah. And musical entertainment by the West Lincoln Broadwell students. Now, the purpose of this, and I really take my hat off to Marcia Fernandez and those who are working on Hoops for Heroes. The recipients of the donations are going to be the Land of Lincoln Honor Flight. And having participated in that, been privileged to go on one of those honor flights, I'm delighted to announce that. And so this Saturday at West Lincoln Broadwell, Saturday evening, let's go out, fumbling around looking for, I thought I was wrong when I said Saturday evening, 2:30 p.m. at the gymnasium, 2:30 p.m. Hoops for Heroes. Go out there and drop a buck or two and have some fun and know that you're contributing to a great cause. Thank you, Marcia Fernandez, very much for doing this. Now, Mrs. Busby, I'm going to go hitchhiking somewhere. We might say,
Abandon me?
yeah, we might tell the folks that because our producer, announcer, custodian,
King.
and Mr. James Ash is a thoughtful man, he arranged for this interview to be taken at the Hampton Inn. because he was concerned about the road conditions and getting in and out of the station up there. So take our hat off to Jim Ash for making this available for us. Go right ahead, Mrs. Busby.
Well, yes, we're delighted to have with us this morning to remind us right in our face here that the election is coming up. Bethany Rademaker is a candidate for circuit clerk of the county of
I didn't see her on the debate last night.
Oh, wasn't she lucky?
Wasn't she lucky not to appear on that debate? Yeah, she was.
But we are going to be having a debate here.
Yes.
Yes. Why don't we just kind of throw caution to the winds here and tell us about the debate, the where, when, and why, and then after that, I'm going to quiz you on your life.
Wonderful. So tomorrow night, we actually have the Lincoln Day dinner, which isn't a debate, but we're all the candidates are going to be there, and we were all going to be able to speak to the public of who's attending, and so that'll be a really fun event. I love the Lincoln Day dinner. And then next Thursday at 7 p.m. at Lincoln College in the auditorium, we're going to have a debate.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. That's very nice.
Excited about that.
Well, Bethany, is running for public office a new thing for you?
It is.
In your life?
It is, yes. I'm very excited about the opportunity. I think it, if anything, it's been a growing experience, just everything that I've learned and the people I've met, the events I've been able to attend, it's really been a good experience. And then just kind of rallying together with the other candidates. I think that's one thing I can say I've been really lucky about here is that everybody's coming together. If there's so many dinners and breakfasts and events, and it's really nice that we help each other out and we let people know, hey, in case you didn't hear, there's a breakfast next weekend, and we all kind of just have been able to come together and really help each other out, which I know that's probably not how it always is whenever you're in a contested race, but it's been nice.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about where you grew up and what the state of your life, huh?
She's not done growing.
Currently growing up.
She catch us, doesn't she?
Yeah, so I was, I lived in Lincoln since I was 3 days old. I was born in Champaign, Illinois, but I've lived here since I was 3 days old. I have an older sister, Hannah. My parents moved here for my dad to work at Lincoln Christian University, and they still live in the same house that they moved to whenever they moved to Lincoln. So I really have some deep roots here, I think. Yes. I've always been invested in the community, and I really make sure like my whole family's invested. My husband's on a lot of boards. I'm on a lot of boards. We serve on a lot of committees, and even my kids are involved in YMCA and school and church, and it's where we want to live. It's where we want to raise our family.
Other deep roots that this young lady has is she worked under the best as far as county clerks are concerned.
I sure did, yes.
She worked under
Sally Turner.
Sally Turner.
Yes. So I graduated high school, and then I started my bachelor's program out at Lincoln Christian University. I got my bachelor's in business administration, and while I was at LCU, Sally reached out to me, and I started working in her office. So I worked in her office for 5 years, and it was wonderful. I loved being able to work under her, and I learned a lot.
So you're really not a new kid on the block then?
No.
But you also earned your master's degree.
Yes. And then I went on, I earned my master's degree.
I have to you for
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was always a goal of mine, and so it was nice to be able to reach that very quickly. So that was really nice. I got my master's in organizational leadership.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm. And then, so while I was earning my master's, I got offered a position to work at the American Council of Engineering Companies, and I worked there under Dave Bender. That's whenever he was the, yep, so that's whenever he was the president there.
And
so
he's
then
gone on to higher things.
he has, yes.
Very exciting.
Yes, out in DC, yeah.
Great.
Yes, so I still work for, he works for ACEC National, and I work for ACEC Illinois. So we still get to work together, and I get to go out to DC and see him sometimes as well.
Tell him the man said hello the next time.
I will.
Communicate with
Absolutely,
him.
yes.
The Lincoln Day dinner is coming up.
Yes, tomorrow.
And I think we're supposed to be non-denominational in our approaches here, but I would comment that it might be a chance for the voters to exercise term limits. Dr. Harold Tarter, physician in Springfield, can't help me at all. I know. But seriously, Dr. Harold Tarter, a retiring physician, is running for state senate, and I suspect he will be there.
Okay.
I hope that he will be
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So just put in a hat word for term limits.
Okay.
Time.
Oh, my.
Well, by victory, if he has a victory that helps in that term limits, that sends Senator Gerby back to Springfield. Now, all you Democrats out there, both of you, will be calling in to hammer me. Go ahead, Ruth Kay.
Well, tell us what your current job involves and how would it dovetail
Yes.
with being circuit clerk?
Yes, so I think a lot of it can pull from when I did work at the county for 5 years, but I have been at ACEC for 5 years now as well. And there I am the director of events and I do accounts payable. So with director of events, I plan and host and execute all of our continual education for our engineers. So I work with IDOT and Tollway and CDOT and I plan the continuing education that's needed for our engineers. And so I think that in the circuit clerk's office, it's kind of being on the other side of that and being the one that gets to be able to take those courses. So whenever there's a change in legislation or if there is an update, whenever, like, so all of the electronic filing that's being introduced right now.
Oh, yes.
All the training for that, I think that that's kind of the flip side that I would get to do is being able to attend those trainings rather than planning them. For accounts payable, I mean, I do payroll and I do all of our bills that we need to do, but I also get to create and present our $1 million budget every year. So I think that that's something that I could really be able to use in the circuit clerk's office because the circuit clerk does have to create the budget for that office and do the monthly payouts every month. So I think that a lot of that is something that I can at least adapt into what needs to be in that role.
You know, you've had a very interesting job going for you. Whatever made it click in your mind that you'd run for office?
I think it's always been something in the back of my mind. I can owe a lot of that.
From working there before?
Yeah, I think I can owe a lot of that to Sally, just being, Sally literally turned whenever I worked for her. She was a great boss. I learned so much from her.
A mentor.
Yeah, oh my goodness, absolutely, yes. And that is really where I love my job right now. I love it. I enjoy planning events. I enjoy the details and the organization of it. I also do wedding planning on the side, so it really is one of my joys. But I also think it's nice to be able to work in the community that you live in. And so currently I work in Springfield, but a lot of our members are in Chicago, so I am traveling a lot and I love it, but it's not the most ideal job whenever you have young children at home either.
And you do have young children.
I do. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, so they keep me pretty busy. So I think it would be nice to be able to work in the community that I live in, being able to drive to work within 10 minutes, I think would be really nice. And I really want to be able to be a benefit to the community and be able to help others. And that's one thing that I did learn from the county clerk's office is that you have new people walking through that door every day. You have new people on the phone asking questions. And I think that your goal at the end of the day is not always to make somebody's day better, but just to get their questions answered, to be able to be an asset to them and to be able to use your skills and be able to be understanding and have a little bit of compassion and empathy for others. And I think that's something that I can excel at for sure.
Whoever wins this office, Rademaker, is going to join a cadre of what I have termed for a long time, maybe as good a collection of county servants as is in 102 counties. We have some excellent county officers next.
Absolutely, yes.
Each office serves us well.
Yes.
And so you'll be stepping right in there with the best.
Absolutely, it would be an honor.
If you were successful, do you have any idea that something specific that you would like to change in the office at all?
I think that's harder to say, just not being inside the office right now. But I can say that one of my goals to step in, of course, would be to continue in the e-file Illinois transition that's going on with getting all of the records on electronic filing. And then there's also introducing the records to be online, so you can actually see the documents whenever you're searching online. So that's a new process that's just being introduced right now. So I know that that is something that is going to be coming. But then also, I think pulling from my education is just having a strategic plan, being able to plan out 4 years, plan out for the next 8 years, figure out what that budget's going to look like, try and figure out what needs to be executed to really make the office keep running and run smoothly like it has always been. But I think a strategic plan is really something that could be unique, that could be brought to the office to keep it running smoothly and being able to plan a little farther into the future.
So in naval terms, Mrs. Busby, she's going to have her hand on the tiller,
Yes.
hand on the wheel. In other
Yeah.
words, we're not going to sit back in the stern and let that thing wallow without shooting the steering.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. You're currently traveling to work,
Yes.
and that would eliminate that.
Yes.
I can see that as being a big incentive to run for office.
I know.
I'd have to drive to Springfield every day.
Yeah. The drive can be nice at sometimes. It's nice to be able to switch your brain and have a little bit of time to do that. But especially on days like today, I would not want to be driving to Springfield with the snow.
You wouldn't hardly
Well,
want
what
to be
have you
driving.
learned?
Yeah, sliding.
Grocery store.
What have you learned through your campaign so far?
Really just an insight of how county government works. I've been trying to attend as many county board meetings as I can, attending township meetings, just trying to figure out how city government works, how it really correlates with the county government, how everybody works together. And I think that that's really been a nice lesson that I've gotten to see, and how many people really go into making it all work.
This has no direct effect on your office for which we're going to take a commercial break right now. Go right ahead, sir. Here you go.
Hi, we're back here on the air. We're out at the Hampton Inn to avoid the roads going north. And we thank them very much for that. There are some questions that have arisen, and judging by your age, which is considerably less than mine, or any of my children's, one question was incorporating somehow social media into the clerk's office. And you young people are absolutely amazing. I mean, and unfortunately, if you broke your arm and couldn't get a hold of your cell phone, I think you'd just go crazy.
I know.
But be that as it may, you're talking about whether or not it could be incorporated into the work at the clerk's office. Tell us how you came about that.
So I think that with the transitioning to the electronic filing, I think a lot of people are concerned that they're not going to understand the system and they're not going to know immediately how to use the software that's provided to be able to search for the files needed. If that is or if that isn't, I think that social media can be a way to help integrate the community and making sure they know how to access files and they know what can even be done in what offices. I will give hats off to the county clerk's office again. They have an amazing Facebook page and they've really been able to utilize it a lot right now during the election and saying we're open late on this Saturday or we're open late on Thursdays to have late voting and different voting hours. And if you are looking for this kind of certificate, that's in our office. So I think that it can be something that's utilized to make sure that the public knows what is done in what offices and how to be able to get that information. But I also think that it can be more of not a burden. I think it doesn't help everyone. If you don't have social media, it's not going to be an assistance to you. So I think it's also good to be able to go back to those roots of using the newspaper, using the radio, and making sure that you're getting messages out if you're needed to be able to do that.
Very well, very well. How did you happen to pick the circuit clerk's office, other than the fact that you'd have been familiar from the get-go?
I knew that Mary was going to be retiring, and holding public office has always been an interest of mine and a goal. I think that I don't know, I've done the research for the office and what they do in there, and I really think it's somewhere that I can succeed and really be able to be an asset. It's somewhere where I can serve for a long time. I am younger. I think it is something that I can make a career out of. I'm not wanting to look to keep making it be a stepping stone.
Honey, but we all start out younger.
Right.
Then inevitably.
It does happen for sure, but I think it's something that my history, my experience really gets me to somewhere where I can be an asset to that office. I think I can really serve there. I can bring in some outside ideas and work that in with what they've already been doing and hopefully advance it to where it continues to run smoothly.
Well, in Mary Kelly, you have some big shoes to fill.
Absolutely, yes.
Those shoes are big.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
You've got a pair of shoes ahead of you.
Yes, a couple of them, right?
Right, you bet.
That's right.
You anticipate how do you feel about the personnel out there? Do you have a full cadre of employees in that office now, or would you have to bring somebody in to bring the office to staff?
I know what it was when I used to work at the county. Currently, I don't know exactly who's in the office. I know some of the employees are still the same as when I used to work there, but they're a great group. It's a great office. They get everything done that needs to be done. They're all very well trained. I'm not sure if they're at full capacity right now or not, though, but there's nothing's ever missed.
You would be working with, as I said just a few minutes earlier, I just feel strongly that we have an outstanding cadre in our whole courthouse system.
Absolutely, yes.
In the courthouse systems. Let's talk about a problem up there.
Yep.
The physical problems in the courthouse. We have some serious problems there, and the county board is struggling with that. And we're going to have a referendum soon.
Yes.
I cannot emphasize strongly enough the need to pass that referendum.
Right.
Think for a minute, ladies and gentlemen, if you were working in the sheriff's office or the treasurer's office, circuit or county clerk's office, with some plaster falling around down here as you walked around, and I think that's some of what's happening now. So the need is not just a want, it is
Correct.
specifically and directly a need to make some repairs. 50 cents on $100
Yes, yep.
is nothing.
No.
It is nothing. I spill that much before 10 o'clock. So I cannot urge the electorate strongly enough to be positive about this referendum.
Absolutely, yes. And I think that the county board has done a very good job. There's a couple of videos that are out on the county website right now. One of them's pretty short, it's like 3 minutes. The other one's 13 minutes, I think, and it really goes into the details and it shows you pictures, it gives details of what needs to be done. So hats off to them for the time that they've put into making those videos, because I think that is the easiest way to even reach the public and get them really involved and take them behind the scenes, show them what actually needs to be done. And then they are currently going around and doing some town hall meetings as well, and meeting with our community in our county and answering those questions.
Some people say, oh, just tear the courthouse down.
I can't.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
I know.
Can you imagine that square with it? Let's assume that's happened. And we have a brand new modern building. Wouldn't that fit in beautifully?
Yeah, that's
blend
just
so nicely.
Not so much sexy.
I think a lot of the times people are speaking without doing their back research. Sometimes you go to other counties, you see their updated buildings, they are nice. They're very nice. They're accessible, they look nice, but to be able to get to that point, it's double what would actually need to be done to fix the current courthouse in our historic building here in Logan County. I think it's...
And what are you going to do with all the offices that are in there while you're
in that displacement
doing that, you know?
Correct, absolutely.
The logistics is just a nightmare.
It would be...
That
would be a big
third
plan.
floor courtroom is just gorgeous.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And I don't think you can even go up there, can you?
The actual courtroom, I don't believe you can go. And the third floor
and that's
opened
such
again.
a shame. It was so
I
pretty.
sat there in that front window of Mama's Cafe, which I call the arcade. And sat there and looked at that courthouse many a morning and marveled at the architectural
Oh, it's
beauty of it.
beautiful. Yes.
And how lucky we are to have that. But over and above aesthetics, which is what that is.
Right.
Practically speaking, we have to do something.
Right.
Not just
Absolutely.
because it's a pretty building. So again, ladies and gentlemen out there in the voting world, go vote.
Go vote.
And
Yes.
Bethany would ask you to vote for her, and I think I could go along with that premise. But she's also going to ask you to remember that referendum. It's just absolutely essential.
Yes. Yes. That is definitely a necessity for the county moving forward.
Bethany, in reading about you and just visiting with you now, you have lots of formal education. But I bet there are some things that you've gleaned in being out and about on the circuit.
Yes.
Can you tell us something funny that's happened, something that's fascinating that's happened?
Oh, let's see here. I can tell you some of my favorite events. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think here. Something funny that's happened.
We'll save the names to protect the innocent.
I know, right?
I bet it's an education in and of itself.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, if like you're putting a sign up and a stake breaks, or just getting out and talking with the public, I don't know if there's any funny situations that have happened, but a lot of just more of applause to the county of what the county does and the different events that they put on. There's a love and hate, I guess I could say, of having an election during the winter. Whenever we're door walking, I mean, I've wiped out a couple times, which is funny. I haven't been hurt, so I think that's okay. But just being out and about in the winter is not always the easiest thing, but it's also so nice to be able to see everything that everyone does at Christmas. Being able to see the tree lightings and the cookies with Santa, which I think I can benefit a little bit more from just with having the kids. Oh my goodness, just seeing the joy that we get to bring to the kids in the county is really
Yes.
encouraging and really nice. But it also has its downside of working in the snow and the ice
Yeah.
and trying to get out and about and having the ground frozen. And, but it's been good. It's been fun. Yeah.
Social media was referred to earlier
Yes.
this morning. Are we going to have to put you down?
Yeah.
And, do you envision the use of social media vis-a-vis the county clerk's office?
I think that it can be used. I think that it definitely needs to be on a good professional level, and I don't see anything other than that happening. But I think that social media that's the positivity of it. I think whenever you look at social media and you look at Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, I think it is a nice avenue for getting information out. Again, it's not a news channel, but I think it's an area to be able to bring positivity even to the social media world and not always just having negativity on there. But I think that's also, which is what a lot of people say, like, we're quitting Facebook because of all the negativity. And I really don't like when I have to see that, because that's not what it's for. That's not what, I mean, it's what you can use it for, but I don't really think that's what it was meant to be. It's meant to be a connection. It's meant to be an avenue of getting news out and connecting with people, not.
Voters or not, there's still a lot of crazies out there on
Yes.
social media.
Yes.
And you just have to tune that out.
Yes.
And use your common sense.
Yeah, so I think
There's two words that may not come up very often, common sense.
common sense,
And
yeah.
that's what I deduce that you will bring to the office of the circuit clerk.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of common sense based on your formal training,
Mm-hmm.
which is very significant, but your experience.
Yes, I think so as well. I think that a lot of what I've done and what my foundation is really leads me to be able to serve in that office. I know that there's a lot of learning that needs to be done, but I love learning. I love education. I love training. I think it's really important for everybody to keep doing that, whether it's from podcasts or newspapers or whatever it is, just to continue your learning in some aspect. And if you can put that into your work, even more better.
Yeah. Well, as you've been out and about, slipping and sliding,
I know.
is there any issue that you think is a commonality amongst the people in the county of Logan? What kinds of things do they ask you about or draw to your attention?
You know what? Honestly, I don't think a lot of people know what the circuit clerk's office does.
Well, why don't you give us a rundown?
Absolutely. So I think that there's a lot of crossover, and I found that even from people walking in the doors. They always go either to the county clerk or the circuit clerk, because they're never quite really sure which office they actually need to go to. So in the circuit clerk's office, they are the administrative arm of the court system. So they're the ones that are recording, they're the ones that are filing, collecting the monies owed, doing the disbursements, so anything within the court system. And then the passports is also done over in that office. So a lot of administrative work and just being an addition and an asset to the court system and making sure that everything is executed correctly. So I think that that's probably the biggest question, is like, what actually does that office do? And what can I come into the office do? I'm like, well, tickets and anything done in the court system would be done in that office. Yeah,
How far would you say in your files, how far would we go back in history, just an off-the-wall guess?
Oh my. I don't know.
Mid-1800s? I suspect. It's kind of close.
Probably.
Nothing break. Well, we just broke. right back live in the studio. Well, not the studio, right back live at Hampton Inn this morning.
Yes,
actually.
Thanks to the ministry of our technicians this morning. Gary, we appreciate you working with us this morning on this. Our guest this morning, Bethany Rademaker, candidate for Logan County Circuit Clerk, comes with a rather significant, what I call, resume.
Yes.
Very significant resume, to be proper about this. Started out at Lincoln College, went to Lincoln Christian University, got a Bachelor's of Arts and a Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership, which is a big deal, and I doff my hat to you.
Thank you.
You've been involved with Logan County Courthouse as a clerk and recorder, working with the American Council of Engineering in conjunction with our Logan County friend David Bender.
Yes.
Logan County Fair Pageant Director. Now, that's a big deal, corralling all these little ladies out there who have aspirations. And I'm sure sometimes you get a lump or two on that. And, you're working with different psyches and so forth. Reps Gym Director. I didn't know that. I've been going out to her gym. She's the director out there. True Form Fitness, a fitness instructor. Well, there again, I missed out on that. Logan County Professional Network, or a committee member. Lincoln Emblem Club. That's near and dear to my heart as helped for 1,000 years or so. We didn't know anything about ladies in those days, in the early days.
Yep.
Now, it'd be difficult to run the things that go on out the Elks without the Emblem Club because they're the movers and shakers, which is a big deal. Relay for Life, Lincoln Pigs and Swigs. Well, I can relate to that. Went down and had a swig or two on the courthouse. That's it's a fun fundraiser. And,
It is.
But it's a lot of work.
It is, yes. Yes.
People have to get behind it, and there's a lot of hours go behind that. And a lot of physical work, too.
Yep.
And the Harvest of Talents for World Hunger. It's amazing what that has brought.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
I heard the total number on that once, not too long ago. That's my memory is going to get. Staggering, the amount of money.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Over the years.
Yes.
Christian Church that's a huge thing.
Yes.
And anything else you'd like to tell us about it?
I have a question I'd like to ask her.
What's your name?
Why don't you just reiterate the election date and also the times, dates, and places for the early voting?
Yes, okay, so the...
Please and thank you.
Absolutely.
That's important.
Absolutely. Election day is March 17th.
For an older girl, she comes up with a pretty good question.
I know, doesn't she? So the actual election date is March 17th, Tuesday. It's also St. Patrick's Day, so no excuse to forget that
So
day.
you wear your green shirt then to vote?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Wear your green shirt to go vote. And early voting can be done right now at the county clerk's and quarters office at the courthouse. Yes, so that can
Okay.
be done during the work hours. And then they also have some extended voting, and those are on their website.
And when you go to early vote, if you do, be sure you just peek around up there and see how beautiful
Yeah,
that courthouse is
absolutely.
if you haven't really studied it before.
Absolutely.
So that you can be on my team and
Yes.
vote for fixing
Yes.
it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it is a wonderful building. It's a historic building, and
Since they've begun, have you heard at all whether people are coming to early vote, or does it look like it's going to be a busy election?
I think it will be a busy election in general because of the presidential election this year. So I think that alone
That makes a difference.
Gets some people out to vote. Absolutely. So that's a benefit, I think, to the county races as well, because we get to benefit from that. But I know just from talking to friends and family that people are getting out in early voting. So I'm hoping that people get to take advantage of that. And sometimes it's easier to work into your schedule, even on the Saturdays and the late nights that the county clerk's office is open, which is great.
And should you be chosen as the circuit clerk, that's a policy I'm sure you'd continue forever, huh?
Yeah.
You know, voting, I hear people say, I'm not going to vote. And I have a tendency to high blood pressure, and I don't need to be around people because that spikes my blood pressure. The one precious thing that we can do is exercise.
Absolutely. Yes.
Whether we would agree with any of them or not, but tell them how you feel about voting.
And truly every vote counts, especially whenever you are in a county race or you're in a city race. Every vote really does matter. It can be so close sometimes, and so I think it's really important to get out there and cast your vote. Unless you're in Iowa.
They have a tendency to lose them out there.
Yeah, glad we're not there.
Have you run into any obstacles as you campaigned around, Ms. Rademaker?
I haven't. I really haven't. I mean, hats off to Logan County. It's really been a great experience. Again, the other candidates have really been helpful. We've really gotten to grow in our friendship, I think, which is great. And I haven't run into anything, even with, I can say one of my biggest concerns, I think, was door knocking. Which I can also say is probably a generational thing. I never grew up just going over and knocking on somebody's door. You'd always call first, I'll let them know you were coming. And so just being able to just walk around and door knock streets was one of my concerns, I could say, but it's really been great. It's really been a wonderful experience. And sometimes people hear you coming and you're talking to other people as you're going down the road. And so sometimes people would just greet me at the door and then we could sit and have a conversation. So I think it's been really, really enjoyable.
We had a candidate for appellate bench many years back, and he was a Democrat. Harold Trapp by name.
Yeah.
And brilliant. And I was happy to go to work for him as a Democrat. I didn't give a darn on what he was. He'd been Presbyterian for all but seriously, it was knocking on the door was just anathema to him. He just couldn't bring himself to do that. And I volunteered to go door to door for him, and I was always proud of that.
Well, good job. I think that is also something that I've really learned through the campaign is how important it is to have that team behind you. And in the future, I cannot wait to be able to support another candidate and really rally on them and be on their committee and help them when it's needed, because you can't do it alone. You have to have a whole team, and you have to have those people there to help you, because if you're at a breakfast and it's a Saturday, but that's 50 degrees, you also have to be out on those doors and really working the town. And so I think it's really great to have that committee.
I really wish you'd called the candidates that participated in the debates last night and talked with them about how you can play nice together.
You really can.
You don't have to be beating one another up.
Right.
Well, that's one thing we experience for the most part here, being where we are and who we are, more civility in this issue. You know, we have a fine candidate that is in opposition to Ms. Rademaker.
Absolutely.
But they're civil.
Yes.
And that's the way it should be.
Yes. And I mean, it is a great group of candidates. Everyone is very much deserving, and so
that's a plus for you, isn't it, in this campaigning, is to make new friends.
Yes.
So we're getting close to the time that we're going to have to be cut off here. You have a closing statement you'd like to make, Ms. Rademaker?
I think to get out and vote, make sure you get out and vote, cast your ballot, educate yourself, make sure you know who you're voting for, because it really does count, and encourage your friends and family to go out and vote. Even if you aren't a registered voter right now, you can go to the courthouse, you can register to vote, and you vote at the exact same time.
At the same time?
Yes.
So it's one stop, fix all?
Yes. So I think just to say that, get out and vote, educate yourself, cast your ballot.
And let's just put a pitch in, not only that for our candidate here today, but for this courthouse referendum.
Absolutely.
I want to close with that. It's just so vital.
It is.
I can't imagine anybody being
anti.
But that word tax comes up.
It does.
And automatically the turtle sticks his head in the shell.
Gets everybody riled up.
Yeah, gets everybody riled up. So we appreciate having you with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Yes.
You're an outstanding candidate.
Thank you.
And thank you for making yourself available to the electorate.
Absolutely.
And we'll close with the thing I always like to remember, and I think there's something to this. Be the reason somebody smiles today. Thank you, Bethany.
Thank you.
Keep Jim on his toes that way.